there's a rather stunning back and forth going on right now between the White House and some of their critics as to whether or not Obama is sexist. Interesting. So it all goes back to the debate on the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, the new so-called free trade deal, which is going to outsource American jobs and destroy environmental regulations. And Elizabeth Warren is, of course, a strong opponent of the deal, and Obama is fighting for it. Now, everybody knows, if they watch my show, that I'm firmly in the Elizabeth Warren camp on this, 100%. And we've done multiple segments ripping Obama on this and praising Elizabeth Warren for being brave and standing up against the corporate interests that are pushing for this deal. But listen to this. Quote, the National Organization for Women President Terry O'Neill on Wednesday called President Obama's critique of Senator Elizabeth Warren on the issue of the TPP sexist. O'Neill told The Hill she took issue with Obama calling Warren by her first name during an interview with Yahoo News published Saturday. Quote, yes, I think it's sexist, O'Neill said. I think the president was trying to build up his own trustworthiness on the issue by convincing us that Senator Warren's concerns are not to be taken seriously. But he did it in a sexist way. Obama told Yahoo that Warren was opposing his trade agenda to further her own political brand. Quote, the truth of the matter is that Elizabeth is, a politician like everybody else. And, she's got a voice that she wants to get out there. And I understand that. That's what Obama said. O'Neill said Obama's clear subtext is that the little lady just doesn't know what she's talking about. Now, also, I should add that Senator Sherrod Brown, a Democrat, echoed this as well and said that the fact that Obama called Senator Warren Elizabeth, called her by her first name in like a nonchalant way, that has a sexist undertone to it, I guess you could say. Okay, so let's be perfectly clear about this. Like I said at the beginning, I'm 100% in Warren's camp on the issue of the TPP. And the area where I disagree with Obama completely is where he said, Warren is opposing the trade deal to further her own political brand. No, Warren is not doing it for herself. She's not doing it for any narcissistic or selfish reasons. She's doing it because she's one of very few politicians who actually gives a shit about the American people and her constituents. So, dead wrong about that. Dead wrong. But to the overall question here, was this sexist of Obama to call her Elizabeth, for Obama to call her Elizabeth? No. And I actually think it's quite disrespectful to real sexism, because this is the boy who cried wolf sexism. So that next time somebody brings up an issue where there's actual sexism going on, everybody's going to roll their eyes and go, oh, yeah, right, like the time Obama called Elizabeth Warren Elizabeth, how that was sexist. I'm sure this thing is sexist too. So not only do I think it's not sexist, I think it hurts the cause of women's rights to call things that aren't sexist, sexist. Because then you create this, knee-jerk reactionary effect of people to always say it's never sexism. Because people say it's sexism too much, now the reactionary effect is, I'm going to think nothing is sexism. And also, context means everything, man. And as Obama said, I called her Elizabeth because I have a personal relationship with her. So should I have called her Senator Warren in that formal context, in the sense that it was an interview? Sure, I guess I should have, but I called her Elizabeth because she's my friend. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And also, Obama, you don't need to explain yourself, man. You don't. I have many, many problems with the Democratic Party and President Obama on different substantive political issues. But the Democrats not standing up for women's rights is not one of those issues. I think the Democrats are fantastic on the issue of women's rights. The first bill President Obama signed was the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act, which extended the statute of limitations if a woman realizes she's being discriminated against in her pay, so that from when you learn that you're being discriminated against, that's when the clock starts ticking, and then you have a certain amount of time to press charges. In Lilly Ledbetter's case, she didn't know for years that she was getting paid less than her male counterparts for doing the exact same job, and by the time she tried to sue, they said, statute of limitations is up, doesn't matter, you're not going to get your back pay. So the very first bill Obama signed was pro-woman. He's in favor of the Violence Against Women Act, to have like hotlines set up to make sure that we can prevent domestic violence and things of that nature. I mean, he's a guy who repeatedly, on the issues, he's for the Paycheck Fairness Act. He pushed for that. which calls for pay transparency to see if there's pay discrimination. I mean, here's a guy who is on the side of women across the board. So for somebody to like cherry pick something and assign motives that aren't there to Obama on this issue, I think that's fundamentally unfair. And again, I think it hurts the cause of actually trying to protect against sexism. So I'm 100% on Elizabeth Warren's side on the issue of the TPP, and Obama's dead wrong on that issue. But no, Obama was not sexist in his rebuttal to Elizabeth Warren.